Hello everybody and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Iona Coded Will by students at the DigiPen Institute. This is a first-person parkour game where we play as a female android who will be escaping her prison factory that she was built within, and it's actually pretty sweet. I think you guys are really going to like this one. It's got a very Tron meets Mirror's Edge vibe, and I think, well, anytime I play a first-person parkour game, that's sort of where we go with the references, but I think you can probably understand why. It was sort of the seminal creation of that formulation of the subgenre. Anyway, let's look at the options menu and the credits before we get started. Not a whole lot in the options menu. It's fairly threadbare, unfortunately, but, you know, it does have resolution and windowed and full screen, which are necessary, and we can mute all sound. I'm going to choose not to, because as far as I can tell, the soundtrack seems pretty sweet in this one. And here is our credits list. Quite a few people worked on this one, actually, and you can tell it's got a lot of polish in the way that the character moves around. So let's go back out, and we'll do a new game. So we've got a fairly long startup sequence here as it, like, does the whole little pretending we're in DOS, loading up OS information and such. But then we're going to boot into a short tutorial, which in this case kind of is necessary, but I do sort of wish you could skip it, because I've gone back to the game, and it resets every time you play it, so you have to go through the tutorial again, unfortunately. Now that I know what I'm doing, you know, probably not as necessary, but for people who are new to the subgenre, I think probably a very useful thing to have to run through, quite literally run through. We will be actually running through a bunch of obstacles, but the tutorial is not necessarily very representative of the experience you'll have in the proper game. Honestly, the production value of the tutorial area seems very low comparatively, although I guess when you look at it kind of close up, it doesn't seem so bad, but at a distance, the detail just sort of fades away, and we end up with a fairly low-res looking texture from a distance. So why don't I just start running into stuff here, and we'll get things going. So we're going to press space to jump, and also press space to continue in this case, and jump, and we've got a big old gap. Very nice. Nothing particularly challenging about this. This also lets you get kind of accustomed to the general sense of speed that you're going to try to keep up to the best of your ability. A lot of the way that the obstacles are structured, though, seems to slow you down a little bit more than I would have liked. But the general sense of momentum when things are at best definitely feels really, really good. So, if anything, I have to give them a lot of compliments on, well, the graphical presentation in the proper game and the way that the character does actually handle is pretty nice for the most part. So we're going to do a wall ride now. We're going to skim along this wall just by jumping into it. You can tell a lot of quality went into this and a lot of time and effort when in the tutorial you can usually get the moves on your first try. Things just sort of happen the way you would expect them to, and that's a fairly important element in something where you're kind of acting on your gut instincts about how you're trying to move from one moment to the next. So now we're going to do a wall ride and then jump at the end, which will put us up slightly higher on the wall. And they force it with the tutorial where they put a gap there, so, you know, well played on that one. And then we're going to wall ride down this long wall. Beautiful. Now we're going to do a combo chain wall ride. And it works flawlessly, you know? Honestly, the controls feel great on these types of moments. Oh, I think I've fallen through the floor for some reason. Well, not a huge deal. I don't think it actually matters. As long as I finish that sequence, which I did. Loading third test scenario. Okay, now we're going to learn about sliding. And sliding is done with the control button key. This doesn't support the 360 control pad, in case you're wondering. That was my first thing, was to try that out, and nope, just keyboard and mouse on this one. But, you know, it's fine. There's no problem with that. I think, if anything, it's probably helpful that it's on keyboard. I think some of these buttons just don't quite feel as good, and I had that same experience with Mirror's Edge. Honestly, playing it with mouse and keyboard, I think, does feel better. You need to be able to move, you know, your head in a very granular fashion and be able to have that control over your character just right. And I think with the analog sticks, you'll suffer from some sort of dizziness from moving your head around too much. And that was just telling us we can double tap on spacebar to give ourselves like a quick jump at the last second. Now this is the one I messed up a few times, because the timing here is a little bit strange in my opinion. So what it wants us to do is, as we're falling, it wants us to press and hold space, and then as we get out of that, we're supposed to basically spring off the ground by releasing space. But I wasn't sure exactly what the timing would be for this, and it doesn't seem to work most of the time. So we want to release space when we reach the ground, but it seems like if you do it too close to when you actually land, it doesn't seem to work. And I don't know, it was just sort of by happenstance that I got through this last time. I don't feel like I did anything better or worse. See, you'll get a very noticeable charge when I hit it right. So we're gonna fall, we're gonna hold space, and there it is. So that time it activated, you could see I got little circuits next to my eyes to sort of indicate that I was doing that button press at the right moment. But I don't know why it worked that time and not any of the other times. I didn't really do anything all that different. So now we're gonna do some Vault City here. Okay, and that is too tall, so now I actually have to go back. Oh, not like that though. Oh geez, that's okay. That's another thing that's kind of important with games like this, is it's a bit of a difficult thing when you end up breaking momentum, because it's so counterintuitive to what you're supposed to be doing at any given moment. There we go. Got the chain combo on that one. You definitely don't want to have to turn around and walk in the other direction. Alright, so simulation failed. Error module 0x10A7A overflow. Control module overwritten. Complete system failure. Starting reboot. Complete system failure. Overflow, 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 overflow. Okay, you get the idea. And we're getting into RGB territory as we fall through the sky of grid buildings. I don't know. I don't know what these things are supposed to represent in the digital world, but they seem to always be there. These kind of unnamed structures. Where was I? What just happened? Well, now we're in a much nicer looking room than the last area we were. This texture work just looks so much better. Malfunction detected. What? I did not touch anything. Did not like this. I need to get out somehow. I was kind of hoping this would be made up of individual primitives and not actually even be texture work, but no, they are actually just a solid block. So now let's begin our actual running. And the platforms will come up to meet us. I'll do my best here. I definitely will fail, though, but this is a free game, so if you guys want to go try this yourselves, you can be right at home, jumping right into things. You might have to go through that tutorial again, like I mentioned, but you'll get through it fairly quickly. And it seems like there's more game to this than I even expected there to be. I think I'll just play until there's a bit of a formulative moment in the progression here, and hopefully I'll actually make this look fairly simple. I mean, it isn't that hard or anything, but it's harder than it might look at times. Oh no! Okay, I got the timing there, even though it didn't look like it. I'm gonna do a lot of superfluous jumping as well. You'll notice I'm kind of flailing about a little bit. But when things go well, they feel really, really, really good. And I have to say, this is one of the better parkour situations that I've found myself within. And I know I have played a number of these games, but I would definitely put this one up there in like the top 2 or 3 for the way that the control scheme feels. We're making our way towards Cube Central over here. Very cool visuals at this point. And, okay, the platform steps are going to meet us. And hopefully I can keep momentum. Keep momentum, very important. Do it, do it. Wall run. Ah, I missed the wall run. Okay, thankfully the way they structured this, though, it's really good when you fall off from a high place instead of just being left on the ground floor and then you have to climb your way back up and completely destroy all your progression and momentum that you had. They actually do take note of where you were. I didn't get enough speed to get the wall run, so now I have to kill myself again. But yeah, it'll actually just drop you back at the last rough checkpoint to where you were, and usually you don't lose that much progress, which, for keeping flow and keeping things moving forward, is absolutely integral. There we go. It doesn't always seem to trigger, I guess, but maybe it was the angle that I was attacking the wall at. Oh no! I hope I got the checkpoint on the way up there. I don't know if there is one. Oh no, apparently not. Also, the visor reminds me a lot of Metroid Prime, which probably just is just me with nostalgia speaking, but like that makes me feel happy because I really wish there were more Metroid Prime style games. And I wish there was a way I could play Metroid Prime on my PC with fantastic visuals. That would be so nice. But you know, I guess I'd have to settle for whatever I can figure out. Alright, so now we're actually getting up somewhere. We're starting to get a bit high up in this factory. Oh no! I didn't actually mean to wall run there, but it still worked out. There's enough latitude in that we have like all these different tools for traversal that even if you fail one thing, a lot of the time you can actually catch yourself in another thing. Oh, that actually worked. See, just like that. No! Okay, well that wasn't so good actually, so let's jump back down. I think it may have actually put me forward on that one, so that's good, I guess. See, all of this vaulting, though, picking myself up off these ledges totally kills my speed going forward, so you definitely want to not make that mistake if you can. I mean, obviously, since we want to be as streamlined and smooth as possible, none of these things should happen. And the animations obviously need a little bit of work in the way that it seems to pull you up in sequence. Sometimes those animations just aren't really represented properly. Oh no! I've fallen again. And back down we go. This is also a thing I've noticed too. Sometimes your leg will just be kind of extended as if you're falling. I guess the way the game spawns you back into the game world, oh no! Sometimes it can't quite tell what exactly the action is that you're performing there. So this beam of light here is not actually where I'm supposed to go. I need to actually jump through that. I made that mistake a couple of times the first time I got there. And, alright, there's our destination. See that blue cube over in the distance? We're going to run over to that. And we're going to press a button in a very Portal-like fashion. And watch a very cool thing happen. So we've got some darkness, system reboot status, 92%. You'll see that cube is now changing colors. Should not have touched anything. Maybe not, but honestly didn't have a lot of options. And the red Tron lines are filling up everything, so corruption, bad news, damage. Alright, it's 97% reboot status, 98. That core does not look happy or healthy. I guess we're going to have to head in the other direction in a second here. Into complete darkness. Wait! There's a beacon of light off in the distance, and then the view kind of fisheye lensed a little bit to make it look further away. Nice effect. And we find ourselves in another room here. And I think that's about where I'm going to leave you. I know that was a fairly short demo, but there is more to play. And honestly, I'm doing this also because the next area is a little bit harder, and I'm going to fumble a lot. So I want to leave that for you guys to experience and check out some of the tricks and traps that are ahead of us in this crazy world. You'll see, yeah, that happens a lot. It's really pretty, though. It reminds me of those Quake 3 levels with the glowing lines like that. But anyway, yeah, go ahead and get Iona Coded Will. It is definitely very cool, totally free. And let me know what you think about this in the comments. I would definitely love to hear your opinions, how you would put this up against some of the other first-person platformy kind of free-running style games. And just in general, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like on it, because that does help me keep things going forward with positive momentum, just like I tried to do in this video. And, of course, be sure to come back again tomorrow. New episodes go up every single day without fail, so I look forward to bringing you another one then, and I hope you have a fantastic night. Talk to you all tomorrow.